but we need to turn it to AC power. So we put it in this electrolyzer, which I explained before, creates hydrogen and oxygen. It goes into a fuel cell which splits up the molecules, creating electricity and a byproduct of water. So we have mobility for our cars and electricity for consumer devices.
Now, what is electrolysis? It's a chemical process that causes the splitting of a molecule into its elements. For example, water would split into hydrogen and oxygen, H and O. The process requires energy or power. The process also requires a catalyst, so it goes from negative to positive. We use the hydrogen that power that, the car. It's a car. Okay, go.
So why are we doing this? Well, cars are the #1 carbon dioxide producer, and carbon dioxide is the #1 reason that global warming is being caused. And we're using up all these resources that we just can't get back for a long time. Wind, solar, and fuel cells are a lot more efficient and cleaner. Global warming isn't just destroying the environment, it's just destroying all of us too. And once we run out of these fossil fuels, it'll be a huge economic catastrophe.
Alright, so you're probably wondering what the heck is a fuel cell. Let me break it down. A fuel cell is an electrochemical device that converts chemical energy of fuel and oxidizing agents into electricity. Fuel cells are different than batteries. They don't require recharging. They just require refueling. Fuel cells are produced power as long as fuel and hydrogen and oxygen and air are supplied. They produce clean power with no emissions and with bioproducts of heat and water and no moving parts. Once we have electricity, we can power cars, boats, cell phones, planes, ships, anything, pretty much anything.
So, in electrolysis by the electrolyzer, it takes 237.13 kilojoules to break the water into 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen. So we know that for 2 minutes we're putting in 3 volts, 4.4 amps, or the current, which means that we have 13.2 watts. So 13.2 watts a second multiplied by 120 leaves us with 1,584 joules. Now, we know that it takes 237.13 kilojoules to break apart the molecules of 2 hydrogen grams. So if we take that number and we multiply it by 1,584 joules, we get 0.01336 grams of hydrogen, which then we take that, multiply it by the efficiency of the electrolyzer, which is around 80%, leaving us with the true value of 0.010688 grams, meaning that we have 1,282.56 joules with an efficiency of 81%.
Data! And so this is the data we collected from our tests, and here you will see the time charged of the car, 14222, and over here is the time over distance, which is basically just how long it took to go a distance. Disregard the first test. The controller was not cooperating. It was completely broke. Forget about that one. And the other time over distance is 3, 4.5, 5.808, and 9.2. And here's the distance in feet. And for the most part, you'll notice that 1 foot was usually 1 second to go across. Here's the amps input, 5.6, 5.2, 5.2 again, 4.7, and 4.4. And here's the power watt input, and that is 16.8, 15.6, 15.6 again, 14.1, and 13.2. Here's the velocity in feet per second, and the first one is 0.88 forever, and 0.984, 0.7606, 86, whatever, 0.98, and 0.76. And the observation me and I made was higher the power input, higher the velocity. And here's a graph showing just the longer the time, the longer the distance, or vice versa. Basically, just the longer we drove, the more distance we went. Pretty simple.
So it's what we learned for the final over the 2-week camp is presented by all of us, but read by me. So we each chose 3 reasons, and some of them were similar. So they were hydrogen is a clean source of energy, an electrolyzer can split molecules into elements, meaning atoms. How fast a small fuel cell car can go, what a fuel cell is, and that hydrogen can generate electricity using a fuel cell. That garbage can also generate electricity, meaning fuels and stuff. You can't stop climate change, you can only slow it down. How a fuel cell works to power a car, how everybody can help to stop global warming, and 2 new types of green energy. And last but not least, we also made new friends. So our acknowledgements are sources cited, because it would be, anyway, so we have sparkfun.com, makingtheweb.com, horizonpbs.org, istopphotos.com. We have no other suggestions for improvement. So here's our video for us driving the car. Here's pictures of us doing our process. Now, does anybody have any questions?